7. Colors that don't flatter women over 65. Advice from old people. Fashion is a powerful tool. It's not about following trends. It's about wearing colors and styles that make you feel beautiful, confident, and vibrant. As we age, our skin tone, hair color, and even the way we carry ourselves naturally change. However, many women over 65 still wear colors that suited them in their younger years without realizing how these shades now affect their complexion and overall appearance. The truth is, some colors can wash you out, add years to your look, or make you appear tired. But the good news is that small adjustments can completely transform your wardrobe and confidence. Today, we'll discuss 7 colors that often work against women over 65 and, more importantly, what to wear instead for a radiant, youthful glow. 1. Cool-toned gray, the invisible effect. There was a time when gray was considered the perfect neutral, sophisticated, understated, effortlessly elegant. But for women over 65, not all grays are created equal. Cool-toned grays, especially pale, steel, or slate shades, often have an unintended consequence. They make you disappear. I first noticed this when my dear friend Margaret, a vibrant 70-year-old with a personality as warm as a summer breeze, confided in me. "I used to love my gray sweaters," she said, "but lately, when I catch my reflection, I just look drained." It wasn't her age that had changed her, but rather the way cool grays interacted with her evolving skin tone and silver hair. Instead of enhancing her features, they muted them. Instead of complementing her complexion, they created shadows that made her look tired, almost ghostly. The problem with cool-toned gray is that it lacks warmth. As we age, our skin naturally loses some of its youthful glow, and without the right colors to reflect light onto our face, we can appear dull or washed out. If you have silver or white hair, the risk is even greater. Cool gray can blend too closely with your hair color, creating a monochromatic effect that strips away definition. Rather than adding depth, it flattens your features, making you look less vibrant than you truly are. For women with fair skin, this effect is particularly noticeable. Gray can highlight fine lines, make under-eye circles more pronounced, and remove the natural rosiness from your cheeks. On deeper skin tones, the wrong shade of gray can look ashy or faded, lacking the richness needed to enhance your natural beauty. No matter your complexion, a lifeless gray does nothing to celebrate the wisdom and experience you carry. But here's the good news. Gray itself is not the enemy. It's the undertone that matters. Instead of reaching for cold, lifeless steel or charcoal, embrace warmer alternatives. Taupe, warm stone, mocha, or even soft beige with a hint of warmth can breathe life back into your complexion. These shades offer the same versatility as gray, but without the draining effect. They reflect light more gently, bringing a soft glow to your skin rather than dulling it. Margaret took my advice and swapped her cool gray sweaters for a rich camel cardigan. The difference was immediate. "I feel like someone turned the lights back on," she told me. It wasn't just about the color. It was about how it made her feel. Suddenly, she wasn't blending into the background anymore. She was radiating confidence, warmth, and the beauty that had always been there. That's the power of color. It doesn't just change how you look, it changes how you see yourself. So the next time you reach for that gray sweater, ask yourself, is this making me shine or is it making me disappear? The right shade can keep you looking vibrant, visible, and unmistakably you. 2. Pure white, the harsh contrast problem. For decades, white has been a symbol of elegance, simplicity, and effortless style. A crisp white blouse, a tailored white blazer. These were the staples of power dressing, the go-to pieces that made any woman feel polished and put together. But something changes as we age. The same bright, pure white that once looked fresh and striking can suddenly feel unforgiving, creating a stark contrast that highlights every fine line, shadow, and subtle change in our complexion. I remember sitting with Evelyn, a 72-year-old retired professor, as she sifted through her wardrobe. She pulled out a white linen blouse, one she had worn for years with pride. "I don't know what happened," she admitted. "I put this on now, and all I see is a tired face staring back at me." It wasn't that Evelyn had changed. It was that her relationship with color had changed. The crisp, cool white that once made her look sharp was now working against her. Pure white, especially in stark synthetic fabrics, has a way of casting shadows on the face. Instead of reflecting light in a way that softens and brightens, it often does the opposite, creating harsh divisions that emphasize wrinkles, dark circles, and uneven skin tone. The contrast between a stark white fabric and mature skin can be jarring, particularly for women with fair or cool toned complexions. Rather than offering a luminous glow, pure white can wash out natural warmth, making the skin appear pale and lifeless. For women with silver or white hair, the problem can be even more pronounced. The lack of contrast between hair and clothing can cause features to disappear, creating a flat, colorless effect. And for those with deeper skin tones, pure white can sometimes take on an ashy or chalky appearance, muting the natural richness of the complexion. The issue isn't with white itself, it's with the wrong kind of white. The solution is simple but transformative. Choose warmer whites. Soft ivory, cream, or pearl white preserve the elegance of white without the harshness. These shades provide a gentler contrast against mature skin, enhancing its natural radiance rather than working against it. They create a glow rather than a glare, reflecting warmth instead of pulling it away. Evelyn decided to experiment. She replaced her bright white blouse with one in a soft ivory shade, layering it under a camel tone sweater. The difference was striking. "I feel like myself again," she said, smiling at her reflection. And that's the beauty of finding the right color. It doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you see yourself. White still has a place in every woman's wardrobe, but the secret is knowing which shade of white loves you back. So the next time you reach for that crisp, stark white, ask yourself, does this color support the woman I am today? The right white doesn't compete with your beauty, it enhances it, embraces it, and lets it shine. 3. Pale pastels, the fading effect. Soft pastels have long been associated with femininity, grace, and a sense of delicate beauty. Shades of baby pink, pale blue, mint green, and lavender evoke images of springtime renewal, of lightness and youth. It's no surprise that so many women have cherished these colors throughout their lives. But something unexpected happens when we enter our 60s and beyond. Pastels, instead of lifting us, can sometimes make us fade into the background. I remember when my dear friend Eleanor, a 74-year-old former artist, came to me puzzled. She had always loved wearing soft pastel sweaters, but lately she felt something was off. "I look at myself in the mirror, and it's like I've disappeared," she told me. "I don't look tired exactly, but I don't look alive either." She was right. Her once favorite pale lavender cardigan, which had once made her feel graceful and refined, was now washing her out. The color wasn't enhancing her natural radiance, it was draining it. The issue with pale pastels is that they often lack the depth and vibrancy needed to bring mature skin to life. As we age, our skin naturally loses some of the warmth and pigmentation it once had. The soft, muted quality of pastels can blend too closely with lighter or cooler toned skin, making us appear flat and colorless. Instead of brightening our complexion, pastels can inadvertently emphasize paleness, uneven skin tone, or even fine lines. For women with silver or white hair, the effect can be even more pronounced. A pale blue sweater against silver hair can create a cool, icy appearance that feels more severe than serene. On deeper skin tones, pastels can sometimes appear chalky rather than vibrant, failing to enhance the richness of the complexion. The softness of these shades, which once seemed so charming, suddenly lacks the strength needed to complement the wisdom and confidence we now carry. But the answer isn't to abandon pastels altogether. It's to choose deeper, more complex versions of these colors. Instead of baby pink, opt for a rich rose or soft mauve. Rather than pale blue, try a dusty sapphire or muted teal. Swap out pastel yellow for a warm honey or deep gold. These shades still carry the softness and femininity of pastels, but with enough depth to enhance rather than fade. Eleanor experimented with a deep rose blouse, and the transformation was instant. "I feel visible again," she said, touching the fabric with delight. She had found a color that didn't overpower her, but also didn't let her disappear. That's the key. Choosing colors that support you, that reflect the richness of your life and experience. The beauty of growing older is that we don't have to blend in. We can stand out in the most graceful, confident way. And color is one of the simplest ways to make that happen. So instead of letting pastels fade you into the background, choose colors that give you the depth and vibrancy you deserve. Because a life well lived should never be muted. It should shine. 4. Black, the aging shadow creator. For years, black has been celebrated as the ultimate wardrobe essential. Timeless, sophisticated, effortlessly slimming. It's the color of elegance, the go-to choice for everything from formal occasions to everyday chic. Many women have relied on black to feel put together, to command attention without being flashy. But what happens when the very color that once made us feel powerful starts working against us? I remember my dear friend Linda, a 68-year-old retired lawyer who had built her wardrobe around black. "It was my safety net," she told me, smoothing down the lapel of her favorite black blazer. "Whenever I didn't know what to wear, I reached for black. It made me feel confident." But lately, something had changed. I put on my usual black dress, and instead of looking sharp, I just looked tired, she admitted. Linda wasn't imagining it. Black, while universally seen as a sophisticated choice, has a unique ability to create harsh shadows on the face. And as we age, those shadows don't always fall in flattering places. The deep, absorbing nature of black can emphasize fine lines, dark circles, and the natural loss of volume in the face, making us appear more drawn or fatigued than we actually are. Rather than brightening the complexion, black absorbs light, creating a stark contrast that can be unforgiving. For women with fair skin, the effect can be particularly dramatic. Black can make pale complexions appear even paler, sometimes bordering on ghostly. For those with silver or white hair, the contrast can be overwhelming, making hair appear dull rather than luminous. And for women with deeper skin tones, black can sometimes create a flat, heavy effect rather than enhancing the richness of the complexion. But the issue isn't about removing black from your wardrobe entirely. It's about wearing it more strategically. Black can still be a powerful color, but it often needs softening to work well with mature skin. One of the simplest ways to do this is by choosing textured fabrics, a soft black cashmere sweater, or a black lace blouse reflects light differently than a flat, matte black garment. Adding depth through fabric choice can prevent the color from looking too severe. Another trick is to pair black with colors that bring warmth to your complexion. Instead of wearing black close to your face, introduce a silk scarf in rich jewel tones like deep burgundy, sapphire blue, or emerald green. If you love your black blazer, try layering it over a cream, camel, or blush-toned blouse to soften the effect. Gold or pearl jewelry can also add warmth, creating balance and light against the darkness of black. Linda took this advice to heart. She swapped out her all-black outfits for charcoal gray, deep navy, and rich espresso brown, and when she did wear black, she layered it with color and texture. The transformation was subtle but powerful. "I don't look tired anymore," she told me one day. "I look like myself again." That's the key. Clothing should never wear you down. The right colors should support and enhance your beauty, not cast shadows over it. Black still has its place in your wardrobe, but it should work for you, not against you. By making thoughtful adjustments, you can keep the elegance of black while ensuring it doesn't age you before your time. 5. Bright neon colors. The overpowering effect. Color has the power to lift our mood, to energize us, and to bring out the best in our natural features. Many women have long embraced vibrant colors, feeling that bold shades make a statement about their personality, joyful, confident, and full of life. But as we grow older, some colors, especially bright neon tones, start to work against us rather than for us. I remember meeting Caroline, a 70-year-old retired school principal with a love for color. "I've always worn bright shades," she told me, gesturing to her neon pink blouse. "They make me feel alive, like I'm not fading away with age." But as she studied herself in the mirror, she sighed. "Lately, I feel like the color is wearing me instead of the other way around." Her observation was spot on. Neon colors, electric blues, neon yellows, fluorescent greens, and shocking pinks are designed to be high energy and attention grabbing, but they can often overpower mature skin, creating an effect that is more harsh than flattering. The intensity of these colors doesn't just bring brightness, it competes with your natural complexion, drawing focus away from your face rather than enhancing it. Instead of making you look refreshed and radiant, neon shades can make your skin appear tired, washed out, or overly contrasted. For women with fair skin, neon shades can create a stark, artificial contrast, making fine lines and wrinkles more noticeable. For deeper skin tones, neon colors may clash rather than complement, stripping the complexion of its natural warmth. And for those with silver or white hair, the brightness of neon can be too jarring, making the overall look appear unbalanced rather than harmonious. But loving color doesn't mean giving it up. It means choosing tones that work in harmony with your natural beauty, not against it. Instead of neon pink, try a rich raspberry or a deep coral, shades that still bring warmth and energy, but without the harsh intensity. Instead of neon green, consider a jewel-toned emerald or an earthy olive, which create vibrancy in a more sophisticated way. Trade an electric blue for a deep sapphire or a rich navy, colors that provide depth while still offering a striking effect. Caroline took this advice to heart. She swapped her neon pink for a warm, muted rose, and her fluorescent yellow scarf for a golden amber. The result? "I still feel like me," she said, smiling, "but now the color brings me to life, rather than drowning me out." There's nothing wrong with loving bright colors, but the key is finding shades that enhance rather than overwhelm. Your presence, your wisdom, and your confidence should be what people notice first, not just the intensity of your clothing. The right colors should lift you up, adding depth, warmth, and elegance, not competing with your natural beauty. Because after all, confidence isn't about wearing the loudest colors in the room. It's about wearing what makes you shine. 6. Faded beige, the disappearing act. Beige has long been considered a safe, classic choice, a neutral that pairs well with anything, a timeless color that feels effortless. Many women, especially those who have built their wardrobe on understated elegance, gravitate toward beige for its simplicity. But for women over 65, faded beige can do the very thing we least expect. It can make us disappear. I remember my dear friend Maria, a 75-year-old retired nurse who always dressed with quiet sophistication. Her closet was filled with beige cardigans, tan blouses, and taupe slacks. I thought beige was supposed to be elegant, she confessed to me one day, but when I wear it now, I feel invisible. She wasn't wrong. Standing there in her washed-out beige sweater, her complexion looked muted, her natural warmth subdued. The problem with faded beige is that it blends too closely with mature skin rather than enhancing it. When we were younger, our skin had a natural vibrancy that allowed neutral tones to feel fresh and modern. But as we age, we lose some of that underlying warmth, and beige, especially in its faded or dull variations, can flatten our features, making us look pale, tired, or even sickly. Instead of serving as a foundation for elegance, it can drain us of color, making our skin appear ashy or lifeless. For women with fair skin, faded beige often lacks the contrast needed to define the face, causing delicate features to get lost. For those with deeper skin tones, beige can create an unnatural dullness, removing the richness and depth that makes their complexion glow. And for silver-haired women, beige has a way of blurring everything together, creating a monochrome effect that lacks dimension. But the beauty of neutrals is that they don't have to be dull. They just need the right warmth and richness to bring out your natural radiance. Instead of faded beige, choose warmer neutrals like camel, honey, or warm taupe, which add depth and sophistication without making you disappear. Soft shades of sandy brown, rich caramel, or golden tan provide just enough contrast to keep the complexion looking lively and fresh. Maria took this advice and replaced her washed-out beige sweaters with a luxurious camel-toned coat and a soft sand-colored blouse. The difference was striking. "I feel like I have color again," she said, catching her reflection in the mirror. It wasn't that she needed something bold, she just needed a color that worked with her skin, not against it. A wardrobe should never make you feel like you are fading. The right colors should bring out your presence, your warmth, your vibrancy. Beige may have been your old reliable, but if it's making you disappear, it's time for a change. Choose shades that let you stand out, that highlight your beauty, and that remind you and everyone else that you are very much here. Because at this stage in life, you deserve to be seen. 7. Cool-toned purple, the unforgiving contrast. Purple has always been associated with royalty, wisdom, and sophistication. It's a color that carries a certain depth, a quiet confidence. Many women have embraced shades of lavender and lilac over the years, believing them to be soft, elegant, and feminine. But as we age, these cool-toned purples can begin to work against us rather than for us. I remember my friend Janice, a 72-year-old former music teacher who had always loved the color purple. Her closet was filled with pale lilac sweaters, lavender scarves, and icy violet blouses. "It used to make me feel regal," she told me one afternoon, adjusting the collar of her favorite light purple cardigan. But lately, when I wear it, I feel washed out. When she stepped in front of the mirror, I could see why. The soft, cool toned purple that once brightened her face was now making her complexion look tired, even slightly sallow. It wasn't that Janice had changed, it was that her natural skin tone had evolved, and the wrong shade of purple was no longer serving her. The problem with cool toned purples like lilac, icy violet, or pale periwinkle is that they can create a stark contrast that is often unflattering on mature skin. These shades lack the warmth needed to counteract the natural changes that come with aging: a slight loss of pigmentation, a softening of features, a shift in undertones. Instead of complementing the skin, cool purples can emphasize shadows, making fine lines, under eye circles, and uneven skin tone more noticeable. For fair skinned women, lavender can sometimes make the complexion appear pale and lifeless rather than bright and refreshed. For deeper skin tones, cool toned purple can create an ashy or dull effect, failing to enhance the richness of the skin. And for those with silver or white hair, icy purple can blend too closely, creating a monochrome effect that flattens rather than enhances facial features. But purple doesn't have to be off limits, it simply has to be chosen wisely. Instead of cool, pale purples, opt for richer, warmer shades that provide depth and sophistication without the harshness. Deep plum, warm berry, aubergine, and even muted wine tones can add warmth and vibrancy while still maintaining the elegance that purple represents. These shades don't just sit on the skin, they work with it, lifting and brightening rather than casting dullness. Janice hesitated when I suggested swapping her lavender cardigan for a deep plum sweater, but when she saw herself in the mirror, she smiled. I look alive again, she said, running her hands over the fabric. The richness of the color brought out the natural glow in her cheeks, making her look and feel like herself, just more radiant. Color is one of the simplest tools we have to enhance our presence. The wrong shade can drain us, but the right one can bring us back into focus. Purple is still a regal, powerful color, but only if it's the right tone. Choose shades that warm you, that support you, that reflect the beauty of the life you've lived. You don't need to blend into the background. You deserve to stand out. Final thoughts. Embrace the colors that love you back. As we age, the relationship we have with color evolves just as we do. The shades that once made us feel vibrant may now cast shadows where there should be light. The colors that once blended seamlessly into our features may now make us feel faded, invisible, or overwhelmed. But aging is not about retreating into dullness or restriction. It is about embracing what works for us today, about recognizing that the right colors don't just reflect who we were, but who we have become. Fashion is not about following rigid rules. It is about feeling good in your own skin, about choosing colors that celebrate you rather than diminish you. The goal is not to dress like someone else or to cling to what once was, but to wear what makes you feel radiant, alive, and undeniably yourself. A deep, rich burgundy instead of a washed out pastel, a warm ivory instead of a harsh white, a soft caramel instead of a faded beige. These are not limitations, they are opportunities. Simple, subtle shifts that can illuminate your face, highlight your natural beauty, and remind the world that you are still here, still vibrant, still full of life. There is no single formula for dressing well after 65. There is only this: pay attention to how colors make you feel. Stand in front of the mirror in natural light. Notice how different shades interact with your skin, your hair, your presence. Choose colors that lift you rather than dull you, that highlight your energy rather than pull it away. Your beauty is not behind you. It is in every moment you choose to honor yourself. The right colors don't just change the way you look, they change the way you see yourself. And when you see yourself in the best light, so does everyone else. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.